Over the last couple of months, we've seen meme coins drive the crypto market, and people investing in these projects, even if they don't have long-term utility, they're really just investing in them because of the community values. But now that we've seen the rally in meme coins, I'm expecting projects with real-world utility to be the next projects that take off, because long-term, if you're looking 5-10 years down the line, most meme coins aren't going to exist, but projects that are addressing real-world problems where they can make revenue every single month, well, those are projects that are going to be around long-term. So I want to talk about a project today called Minutes Network. It doesn't have a token that is launched just yet, but I think Minutes Network might be the largest DePIN project in 2024 being launched by Userbase, because they've already made a number of major achievements before ever even having launched a token. They've had hundreds of telecommunications operators interconnected already, proprietary software that allows the instant user onboarding via mobile applications with just a few lines of code and a single click. They're creating the world's largest voice network with over 1.2 billion users in the first 24 months. Contracts are already signed off and in the process of onboarding, and 20 million users will be live by Q3. On top of this, they're about to release their public sale very shortly, and you're currently able to whitelist/register yourself on their website. But if you want to get into specifics, Minutes Network is actually a distributed and decentralized wholesale telecommunications carrier. And the easiest way to think about this is, look at this. You can see on Google, if you type in voice termination, it says voice termination, also known as call termination, is the process of routing a phone call from one provider to another until the call is received by the recipient. So ultimately, you could think of this as if you're making calls from one country to another. How are you able to call when there's different carriers in each country and different locations? And that is exactly what voice termination is, and that is exactly what Minutes Network is trying to redefine and make much more efficient process. So, like I said, this is a token that I'm going to be following for the next couple of months as they are leading up until their launch, because I followed them on Twitter for quite a while, and while they haven't launched just yet, they have a lot of plans moving forward that I think are really, really exciting. So ultimately, Minutes Network, if you go ahead and look on their executive summary, you can see, look, Minutes Network is a voice call termination service provider operating in a market that generates annual revenue of close to $251 billion. So if you're looking for something long-term that has real-world utility, has real market potential, has the opportunity to make billions of dollars, that's a project like Minutes Network, because Minutes Network is entering that market and they generate income by charging tier 1 carriers for terminating their international voice call traffic. Minutes Network is already working with Lebara, Vodatel, Skype, WorldCall, SkyMatel, and IDT, and is terminating more than 1 million minutes of international voice traffic every single month. Minutes Network conservatively projects gross revenues exceeding $50 million per year by the end of 2025, equivalent to 0.4% value share of the international wholesale voice call market. So this is a project that has real partnerships, is doing real things already, and they're partnered with Web 2 companies and companies in the traditional technology space outside of crypto. And I think this presents a major opportunity because, like I said, in every single market, you see a lot of these tokens that are all about community, rally first, but long term, the products that are going to be valued the most are ones that are going to actually be able to sustain themselves, be able to generate money, be able to generate revenue. And that is exactly what Minutes Network is doing. So you can go ahead and look on their website, and you can see how they talk about how it offers the lowest cost international termination. Minutes Network leverages existing and new proprietary MinTech technologies to provide voice carriers worldwide with the highest quality international terminations at the lowest market-beating prices. And ultimately, this is something that is very valuable long-term because Minutes Network terminates your international calls via the highest quality rates at an unmatchable price. And their unique integration between telecommunications and the blockchain means they will always be placed first in your least cost routing tables. And that is, in my opinion, why I think they've already been able to make major partnerships with companies like Skype and WorldCall and Vodatel and some of the biggest names in the space. So if you go down a little bit further, you can see how it talks about MinTech. And it says, look, MinTech is Minutes Network software development and engineering hub focused on reimagining and distributing the international wholesale telecommunications industry. Ultimately, MinTech's initial suite and proprietary software and protocols center around a few different things. It's optimizing call costs via the MinTech revenue turbine, and the ability to terminate calls across a range of non-traditional platforms via the Mintech Flexible Connect technology. So it says ultimately with these different things, Minutes Network is going to provide international wholesale voice carriers with call terminations at systematically lower prices than what can legitimately be offered by any other wholesale service provider. So they're taking the power of blockchain technology and incorporating into a technology that people have been using for decades already, and it's going to make it much more valuable. So you could see they talk a little bit more about in 2024, further Mintech innovations will extend Minutes Network wholesale service provisions into domestic call market. But for right now, this is what they're doing. And it says, look, Mintech is the power behind Minutes Network business plan, and due to Mintech's unique engineering, Minutes Network will have onboarded more than 2 billion users into its worldwide network by 2030. So this is something that, again, is adding a ton of value long term. And the reason why I'm going to be keeping an eye out on their Minutes Network token, symbol MNT, is because I've already gone ahead and whitelisted myself, as the public sale is going to be commencing and coming up in the very near future. So if you don't go ahead and whitelist yourself, then you're going to be missing out on a huge opportunity. And the reason why this token is going to have so much value long term, in my opinion, is because the MNT node provides the critical infrastructure that enables Minutes Network to terminate international traffic and do so over a stable global platform. The total MNT token supply is capped at 500 million tokens. The full supply will be released over the first 60 months following the TGE. But the good thing is that the public sale tokens are released immediately and are protected, because the team tokens and all other vaults are only released very slowly over a period of these 60 months. So it's a very safe way for the investor to enter the market, as they own the supply mostly at the beginning stages. And on top of all this, MNT utilizes Ethereum blockchain to decentralize and distribute infrastructure and create reward-based sharing economy, utilizes World Mobile's AYA chain as a traceability layer for the cost-effective settlement of data, and it's continue to talk about a little bit more. They also talk about how it's going to be ultimately long-term with utility is going to be derived from two sources: MNT node staking and lowest cost international consumer outbound calling via the Minutes Network dialer. So they're creating all this value long term through their network and through the connections, and by terminating calls and working with different carriers, and this is creating a ton of value long term. So they have a few different options for node staking. They have switch nodes and validation nodes with different requirements for each of these, and these are going to allow you to ultimately, earn some MNT rewards and create more value long term. But the good thing is that the nodes are extremely easy to set up with a simple portal provided by Minutes Network, so anyone could go ahead and run a node and become part of the Minutes Network. So you can go ahead and see that in terms of earning MNT rewards, MNT node stakers share 60% of the total reward pool. The exact number of MNT rewards distributed depends on the proportion of MNTs staked via the total MNT circulating supply, with the formula being this right here. And then it says the unallocated balance of 60% is burned. So this ultimately is going to create more and more value long term, and they're going to still maintain that 15% of all rewards generated and utilized into tokens to invest into further network innovations. So they're going to continue to have that in order to build long term, create more value, and continue to grow the project. So this is a project, like I said, that hasn't launched just yet, but you can see they have some major partnerships with some of the biggest names in the technology space already, in the telecommunication space already, and it's pretty impressive what they've already done, considering that they haven't launched a token just yet, and they're really just focused on building long-term utility. If you go ahead and click on team, you can see that all the information about their team members, you can see from their chief executive officer to chief of staff. You can see all of these things just right here about different major people in the company, and I really like that. You can see their LinkedIn, you can see their background, you can see all the information about them, and that's something that I really do like. So this is a project that I said hasn't launched just yet, but they're going to be having their TGE very, very soon, and it's one that you're definitely going to want to keep on your radar, because it has real world utility, and long term, if you're investing in a crypto project, you want to be in something that can be self-sustaining, that can generate revenue, that could be around long term, and not just rely solely on a strong community, because long term, those projects are very, very risky and unlikely to succeed long term on a long enough time frame. So go over to their website, minutesnetworktoken.io/register, and you could whitelist yourself to be able to purchase the tokens and or reserve a node. And I'll put all the links in the description, but this project hasn't launched a token just yet. But in order to take advantage of a major opportunity, you need to be able to whitelist and register yourself on their website now before they launch.